Most people over 60 have been told that a simple daily scoop of whey protein is enough to keep their muscles strong. It sounds reassuring, almost too easy, and that is why so many trust it without a second thought. Yet behind that comforting idea hides a quieter truth. Countless older adults, even those faithfully taking their 15 grams each day, are still losing muscle at a steady pace. Picture this: someone enjoys their morning shake, believing they have done the right thing. But weeks later they notice climbing the stairs feels harder, their legs less steady, and simple tasks leave them more tired. This is not just about appearance or vanity. It is about the strength you need to get up from your chair without help, the balance that prevents a dangerous fall, and the independence that lets you live life on your terms. What I want to share with you tonight is the real story behind that 15-gram rule and why it so often falls short. And before we reach the end, I will also reveal the single mistake that can quietly erase all the good you think you are doing, even if your shake is perfectly timed and measured. Whey protein, in its simplest form, is the liquid portion left after milk is curdled and strained to make cheese. For decades, it has been praised as one of the highest quality proteins available, rich in essential amino acids, and especially abundant in one called leucine, which plays a central role in triggering muscle growth. Because it is absorbed quickly, many people take it after exercise or as part of their daily routine, hoping to guard against the gradual erosion of muscle that comes with age. The trouble is that muscle loss, or sarcopenia as the medical journals call it, rarely announces itself with pain or obvious warning signs. It creeps in quietly year after year, until one day you notice the grocery bags feel heavier, or standing from the couch requires more effort than before. By the time most people recognize it, a significant portion of their strength is already gone. Research from institutions like the National Institute on Aging shows that starting in your 60s, the average person loses between 3 and 8% of their muscle mass each decade, and by the time they reach their 80s, they may have lost a quarter or more. This is why protecting your muscles is not simply about looking fit. It is about maintaining balance, mobility, and the ability to care for yourself without constant assistance. Here is where the science becomes both fascinating and urgent. As we grow older, our muscles become less responsive to the very signals that once told them to grow. Imagine trying to talk to a friend in a noisy room. They might hear you, but they need you to speak louder and clearer for the message to get through. In biological terms, this is called anabolic resistance, and it means that the aging muscle requires a stronger push to begin building again. That push comes largely from the amino acids in the protein we eat, and leucine is the one with the most powerful voice. When enough leucine reaches the muscle, it flips the switch that turns on protein synthesis. Without a high enough dose, the switch stays off, no matter how faithfully you drink your shake. Whey happens to be one of the richest natural sources of leucine, which is why it is so often recommended for older adults. But here is the catch. 15 grams of whey provides roughly 1.5 to 1.8 grams of leucine, according to analyses published in journals like the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition. Studies show that most older adults need about 2.5 grams of leucine in a single sitting to spark optimal muscle growth, which translates to 25 to 30 grams of high-quality whey protein. That means the common 15-gram serving leaves you stranded halfway to your goal, like trying to fuel a road trip with half a tank and wondering why you never make it out of town. So the question becomes, if 15 grams are not enough, what truly works? The answer is less complicated than most people think, and it starts with knowing how to reach that effective dose without turning your routine upside down. One option is to simply increase the serving of whey protein to somewhere between 25 and 30 grams in one sitting. For most healthy older adults, research confirms this amount is safe, easy to digest, and delivers the leucine your muscles are waiting for. Another approach is to pair your whey with other protein-rich foods. Picture a morning where your shake is followed by a cup of plain Greek yogurt and a scrambled egg. You have just crossed the 30-gram threshold without even noticing. And if your appetite is smaller, you can split it into 2 sessions, perhaps 15 grams in the morning and another 15 in the late afternoon. This keeps a steady flow of amino acids circulating, which is especially helpful when large meals feel overwhelming. No matter which path you choose, the key is not perfection but consistency. Muscles respond best to regular, reliable nourishment. Much like a retirement account grows not from one massive deposit, but from steady contributions over time. Even with the right amount, there are moments when caution is wise. For most healthy older adults, 25 to 30 grams of whey a day is as safe as a serving of yogurt. Yet certain conditions call for a doctor's guidance before making it a habit. If you live with chronic kidney disease, your physician may recommend adjusting the dose to protect your renal function. If you are taking specific antibiotics, such as tetracyclines or quinolones, the calcium naturally present in whey can interfere with the way your body absorbs those medicines, which is why health professionals advise spacing them several hours apart. And of course, if you have a milk allergy, whey being derived from dairy is not your friend. These exceptions do not mean protein is dangerous. They are reminders that personalization matters. When you match the right dose and timing to your body's needs, whey protein becomes not just a supplement, but a strategic tool for preserving strength and independence in later years. There is, however, one silent mistake that can undo all of your careful planning, and it happens more often than people realize. You might measure out the perfect scoop, blend it smoothly, drink it at just the right moment, and then spend the rest of the day sitting in a chair. The truth is, protein by itself is like fuel sitting in a parked car. It cannot take you anywhere until you turn the key, and in this case, the key is movement. Your muscles need a clear signal that they are still in use for all that protein to be put to work. This does not require heavy weights or hours in a gym. It can be as simple as 10 slow squats while holding onto a sturdy chair or walking up and down your stairs for a minute or 2. Even a gentle resistance exercise after your shake acts like a green light to your body, telling it to use the incoming amino acids for rebuilding instead of letting them go to waste. Small, consistent actions after each dose can transform the way your muscles respond, and over time, those little moments of movement add up to lasting strength and independence. In the end, the message is both simple and empowering. 15 grams of whey protein may lend a small hand, but the real benefits unfold when you give your muscles what they truly need, about 25 to 30 grams in a single serving, paired with the kind of movement that reminds your body it is still capable of building. Think of it as a conversation between nutrition and activity, each one amplifying the other's effect. This is not about chasing perfection or turning your life upside down. It is about making choices that stack up over time. Whether you start by adding an extra scoop to your shake, pairing it with protein-rich foods, or walking the length of your hallway after breakfast, each step moves you closer to a stronger, more independent future. So I will leave you with this question. How much protein do you truly get in a day? And could your muscles be quietly asking for more? Share your experience, your routine, or even your favorite way to stay active, because your story might be the spark that inspires someone else to begin.